Shalom. I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Also want to acknowledge all Akim who are pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. A shalom to the hopeful elect of Israel. This is Shabai from GMS in Denver. And through the Spirit, I'm going to read Acts the first. Okay, no. I was going to go in on 1 Thessalonians, the second chapter. All right, and this is talking about the ministry, Paul's ministry. This is the Apostle Paul. Verse 2 and 1, 1 Thessalonians 2 and 1, it says, "For yourselves, brethren, know our entrance in unto you, that it was not in vain." Okay, so this ministry is not in vain. It's not useless. This is going to be the most valuable thing in the times that we're coming into. Okay, the Most High, He always sends His prophets. He puts His Spirit on His men before He's about to make some moves, right? So make some major prophecy moves. So this is not in vain that we're doing this. This is not, in the word vain, it means worthless or useless. This thing is going to be extremely valuable, the opposite of worthless, when we approach these prophecies that are about to pick up. Verse 2, it says, "But even after that we had suffered before and were shamefully entreated, as ye know, at Philippi, we are bold in our God to speak unto you the gospel of the Most High with much contention." Okay? And brothers all know about that. We know that we're not received, by the masses wherever we're at. We're doing this ministry. We're telling you the truth. And like it tells you in Galatians 4:16, we become the enemy of these people because we're preaching the word of Yahweh. And these people they're not set up to receive. They're not set up in their spirit to receive the word of Yahweh. Okay, that's all by design. Okay, verse 3, "For our exhortation was not of deceit, nor of uncleanness, nor in guile." Right, and we do this thing without any gimmicks, without any tricks. We don't lie. There's no deceit. Verse 4, "But as we were allowed of the Most High to be put in trust with the gospel." All right, so the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai has entrusted us with this gospel. All right, that's why it's so important to stay sound. You see, the Most High, He gave us this precious thing, this rare thing, So we're entrusted with this truth. You gotta walk in integrity, walk in the Spirit, in balance. Be an ensample for the nation of Israel. Because, this is us. We're the ones who are in this ministry, in this truth. So we gotta we're setting the standard for our nation. "Even so we speak, not as pleasing men, but the Most High, which trieth our hearts." Right? If you're in this ministry, you shouldn't be worried about what men think. You have to be worried about what Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is thinking. The angels are the messengers. It says in Proverbs that the eyes of the Lord are everywhere, and they beholding the good and the evil. Right? So you have to ask yourself, if you're in this ministry, are you pleasing men or are you pleasing the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai? Verse 5, it says, "For neither at any time using we flattering words, as ye know, nor a cloak of covetousness, the Most High is witness." Yeah, the Most High knows that we're not out here changing the words, changing the doctrine just to tell these people what they would rather hear than if it's the bitter truth, because there's lots of bitterness that comes with this doctrine, So the Most High is our witness, that we're in the right spirit and you're not out there speaking flattering words, You're speaking, like I did a lesson the other day, I titled it, "We let none of our words fall to the ground," like the prophet Samuel, okay? Verse 6, "Nor of men sought we glory, neither of you, nor yet of others, when we might have been burdensome as the apostles of Yahushua HaMashiach." Okay? That's the other thing. If you're out there teaching and you're doing these lessons, these videos, are you doing this glorifying Yahweh Bashem Yahshai? Or are you doing this to glorify yourself? Are you trying to, take the vanity of this world and try to increase on this side? See? This is all about glorifying Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. This is not about lifting ourselves up. This is not about trying to, get some clout, get famous, become a celebrity, a Hebrew Israelite celebrity, Now the scriptures does speak about fame, but that's going to be in a time of humbleness, not in the time where people are still living super wicked day in and day and night. That fame comes when this world is humbled. Okay, we get humbled right now, but when the world gets humbled, that's when we're gonna get our reward and our being joint heirs with Yahweh Shai, including in the glory and the fame. That's not something that we're concerned about right now, okay? Because we know that we got to go through much tribulation to inherit the kingdom. So be prepared to for the tribulation rather than, trying to build a name for yourself here on this side, okay? But we are gentle among you, even as a nurse cherisheth her children. And this is just being humble to the brotherhood, treating the brotherhood with love. And remember, love is obedience. So sometimes that means, you got to rebuke brethren. Sometimes you got to, correct brethren. See? But at the end of the day, we're gentle among the brothers, we have that spirit, and it's an unspoken, well, it is a spoken word, but it's like a unspoken rule. Sincere brothers, have this spirit where you're gentle with the brotherhood, you see. And, I could speak also from experience of meeting the elders. They came out here, they make some corrections. Did they get on our ass a few times? Yes. But at the end of the day, their spirit was gentle toward us, just like Paul here in Thessalonica. Verse 8, "So being affectionately desirous of you, we were willing to have imparted unto you, not the gospel of the Most High only, but also our own souls, because ye were dear unto us. For ye remember, brethren, our labor and travail, for laboring night and day, because we would not be chargeable unto any of you. We preached unto you the gospel of the Most High." Okay? "For laboring night and day, because we would not be chargeable unto any of you, we preach unto you the gospel of the Most High." Salakia, I think I skipped one. Verse 8, "So being affectionately desirous of you, we were willing to have imparted unto you. Not the gospel of the Most High only, but also our own souls, because ye were dear unto us. And that's how the brethren is. You know, the brethren is a you know, it's something that we cherish, you know. Brothers come into town, or you go into another brother's town, another camp's town, you hold camp with other brothers, and, you know, usually by the time it's time to go back home, you really sit there back and you think, like, man, this is something special. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua have a way of making you realize what we're really a part of, you know, when you do things like that, you know. Verse 9, for ye remember, brethren, our labor and travail, for laboring night and day, because we would not be chargeable unto any of you. We preach unto you the gospel of the Most High. And that's what it is, man. The apostles, the elders, the men who are, you know, you're gaining experience in this ministry. Listen, we are able to, you know, preach this gospel unto each other, feed the flock. Everybody's feeding everybody, right? We're all following what Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua has commanded us to feed the flock, and it's just, we're all sharpening each other, you know. Verse 10, ye are witnesses, and the Most High also, how holily and justly and unblamely we behaved ourselves among you that believe. At the end of the day, we are the only witnesses. We're the true witnesses of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. The first fruits, right? The first spirits, the first souls that were created before the foundation of the world. And now here we are preaching this gospel all the way from way back when. In Lord's will, I'm in that number, you know. We always say humbly, you know, we hope we're in that number, you know. But also confidently, we expect to be in that number. See? Like King David said, I'll grab that precept. Let me see. My expectation is from you, KJV. Yep, Psalm 62. Psalm 62 and 5. It says, Psalm 62 and 5, it says, my soul, wait thou only upon the Most High, for my expectation is from him. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be moved. And you see, you have to be confident to have that type of spirit to say that, to know that, to believe that. See? But guess what? Our expectation is from the Most High. So that's what gives us confidence, because we're diligent. And we are, you know, we're expecting these things to happen because of our faith. And we know they're going to happen because of our faith. You see? So let's see. 1 Thessalonians, 10? 11. As ye know how we exhorted and comforted and charged every one of you as a father doth his children. Yep. And that's how it was when the elders came out a few times. You know, basically letting us know what, you know, what standard to keep, what, you know, what expectations were, you know, give us pointers on how to sharpen up our camp, how to make our camp better. Because, you know, when we first came in, we didn't really have no, you know, guides or somebody to help us. We just run with the Spirit. The Spirit was guiding us. But then when the Lord sent his apostles out here to you know, help us tighten up the ship, you know, then hey, that was a blessing, you know, and our camp has increased. And I'm not talking about in numbers, I'm just talking about in you know, the way we do things. We've increased. So we thank Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, you know, for you know, sending the elders out to us. And that's what the word apostle is. The word apostle, it means to be sent out, to be sent away. And what were they sent out for? To teach the body, to teach the brethren, Verse 12, that ye would walk worthy of the Most High, who hath called you unto his kingdom and glory. You see? So we got to be worthy too. What makes us worthy is by being diligent, doing these commandments, walking in the Spirit, balancing everything out, right? Yeah, we're in the Spirit, but you're not. It's not like you're vibing in the Spirit 100%, 24/7. No, the minimum is balance. Half the time. That's pretty much minimum. And really, in the times we're in, I'd say a good balance is like 75-25. Saying being doing things pertaining to this knowledge, whether it's meditation, whether it's eating right, whether it's exercising, whether it's reading, whether it's things that are going to be good for your spirit. Verse 13, for this cause also thank we the Most High without ceasing, because when ye received the word of the Most High, which ye heard of us, ye received it not as the word of men, but as in truth, the word of the Most High, which effectually worketh also in you that believeth. See, that's the end of the day. The true man, the sincere men of Yahweh B'Shem Yoshai, we're going to be sincere believers, all right? You're going to be a doer of the word, right? Not just a sayer of the word, You're actually going to be a doer. And, it's beautiful, this scripture right here. It's because it says, let me read that again. When ye received the word of the Most High, which ye heard of us, ye received it not as the word of men, but as it is in the truth. Meaning you believed in the prophets. You have a lot of naysayers and gainsayers and back, sliders that say, oh man, there ain't no prophets anymore. They don't believe in true prophets, But when we were taught by our elders, we received it as the Most High's word. We weren't looking at it like, oh, this is Apostle Tahar's word or Apostle Gabar's word, or even their elders. They didn't say, oh, this is this man's doctrine. No, man, we knew through the Spirit that this was the true word of the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yoshai. Okay? For ye brethren became followers of the churches of the Most High, which in Judea are in Yahushua HaMashiach. For ye also have suffered things like of your own countrymen, even as they have of the Jews, who both killed the Lord Yahushai and their own prophets, and have persecuted us, and they please not the Most High, and are contrary to all men. Right? So all these people around us, these 2/3, these heathen, they're basically against us. And, there's persecution coming to even the current prophets of today. We know that a lot of us are going to have to go through, some grievous times and events, but we just got to endure and hold on to our faith in this truth, It says, forbidding us to speak to the Gentiles that they might be saved. And that's what these people like Vocab Malone, that dude's trying to, he's trying to debunk us, demonize us, trying to, do all kind of things because he doesn't want us speaking to the Gentiles. Or he wants to, and he's going to, he is going to be able to trick the non-elect. But the elect are not going to be deceived by his gimmicks, by his weak contesting of this ministry, But these people that are against this ministry, they don't want us to speak to the Gentiles of Israel because they know that some of those Gentiles are the elect. And the elect, once the scriptures talks about, once the elect is sealed, this thing is through. The Most High is going to unleash those angels that are sitting at the four winds. The destruction comes. The death angels are going to be unleashed, you see, when the elect is sealed. That's Revelation 7. You see? So it says, forbidding us to speak to the Gentiles that they might be saved, to fill up their sins always, for the wrath is come upon them to the uttermost. But we, brethren, being taken from you for a short time in presence, not in heart, endeavored the more abundantly to see your face with great desire. And, you know, like the elders, you know, we had elders come to visit us. And then they of course they had to leave, they had, or whatever, they had to go to the different camps, you know. But this is just the same thing with Paul here. It says, but although being taken from you for a short time in the presence, but not in the heart, meaning not in the spirit, not in the mind. Like, you know, when our elders came to visit us, you know, yeah, they had to leave, but guess what? They're still in the same spirit with us. You know, matter of fact, last night, I think I watched one of Apostle Rakar's video. Right? I haven't seen him, right, since he left. But guess what? He's still in that same spirit, and Lord's will, I'm still in the same spirit, right? And the rest of the members of GMS, we're all in the same spirit, even though we're not face to face with each other daily. 18. Wherefore we would have come unto you, even I, Paul, once and again, but Satan hindered us. Okay. And yeah, Satan, he'll do things. The Lord allows him to do things to cause hindrance. But at the end of the day, we know this thing, it could be hindered, but it can't be stopped. You know, and it can be delayed. But, you know, at the end of the day, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is in control. So if he allows Satan to hinder us for a moment, that's of him. And all that is to you know, to build us up and make us even better and stronger in this ministry. Because once you get past forward the hindrance, whatever it is, right? Like, I'll give you an example. We had a brother from DC come out and visit us a couple, maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe a month. Time flies. And you know, we were set to hold camp, our first night camp, you know, and in a while, and we had a huge hindrance. One of the brothers couldn't find his keys, you know. We didn't get to start camp till like 2 hours later than normal, and we were already had changed that week. Was the first week we were going to hold. Well, maybe not the first week, but we had switched days recently, right? And it's been months, but this was the time, you know, when we had another brother from DC come out, and basically our camp was totally delayed, you know, that day when the brother was out here. But, you know, at first, yeah, it was like, damn, we starting late. But then by the time the whole night went past, we brothers after camp went and had some dinner, you know. But hey, it was all good. We just rolled with the punches, right? Even though that Satan was hindering that moment, you know, with the brother not being able to find his keys, we just pushed on, no big deal. And that's how that's an example, you know. And there's all kind of different ways, but you have to always remember that we know, as the ministers of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, we know it's all we know who's in control, and it's Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So even when he allows, remember this book in Job, first and second chapter of Job, where Satan, he's asking for permission to mess with Job, right? And the Most High is the one who allows it. So, you know, we got to always remember that. And, you know, the brothers who are seasoned, you know, and have a little experience with, you know, we know what it is. And even the newer brothers, because you got to remember, the elect has been the elect. So even if you're a new member of the camp, you know, if your spirit's on point when hindrances come. See, the phone chimed on that. Our spirits are on point, man. So anyway, let's keep reading these last couple verses. Oh, for what is our hope or joy or crown of rejoicing? Are not even ye in the presence of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai at his coming? For ye are our glory and joy. Right? And that's a Yapa thing. The apostle, just think about it. If you're the elders, I was meditating on this in the past, but if you're the elders, as long as they've been doing this ministry, as long as they've been doing this work, they've been a part of this truth. And when they see the growth, the expansion, the increase that the Most High has given this ministry, just think about how we see how we get, but think about the elders, how it's like, if you're one of the elders, you look back and you're like, man, they were doing this thing a long before most of us, right? A long time. And just to see the increase, it's a phenomenon, right? But that's what it is, man. The ministry is glorious. That the word glory goes back to beauty. So this is a beautiful ministry that we're a part of. We're fortunate to have our elders who rule well, above us, over us, and, keep pushing, keep enduring. So, with that, I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also, want to acknowledge Al-Akyam, who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to the elect. Shalom.